Hello and welcome back to Horoscope TV. I really hope you are having a fantastic weekend. It is Sunday, January 25th, 2026, and we are broadcasting live to get you completely ready for the week ahead.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, looking at the charts this morning, the energy out there right now, it's palpable. It feels heavy, it's electric, and it is moving fast.
It certainly is. This is one of those weeks where you can almost feel the static electricity in the air before Monday morning even hits. The planetary geometry is, well, it's incredibly tight right now.
Exactly. And today we're doing something a little bit special. We're focusing our entire lens, our entire broadcast on one specific sign. If you were born between, say, December 22nd and January 19th, or if you have significant Capricorn placements, this broadcast is for you. We're talking about the sea goat, the mountain climber. We were talking about Capricorn.
Capricorn, the builder of the zodiac, the architect. And if you are a Capricorn, or maybe you live with one, work with one, or are just trying to figure one out, you're going to want to pay very close attention to the planetary alignments happening between January 26th and February 1st, 2026.
I was looking over the transit maps you prepared earlier, and honestly, intense feels like an understatement. It looks like the universe has just decided to turn the volume knob all the way up for Capricorns this week. So if you're listening, buckle up. Whether you're climbing the corporate ladder or just, trying to keep your house in order, the stars have a very specific agenda for you.
They really do. And to analyze the headline story right off the bat, this week is defined by a massive, almost overwhelming emphasis on finances and personal values.
Money and values. Okay, that sounds serious.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing Capricorn, they wouldn't have it any other way, right?
Yeah.
They kind of thrive on the tangible.
In a sense, yes. But this is not just business as usual. We aren't just looking at the standard lunar cycles. Those are definitely important. We're tracking three major astrological pillars supporting this forecast. First, we have the first quarter moon in Taurus kicking things off on Monday, January 26th. That's going to bring a real surge of creative energy.
Okay, so we start with a little creativity. I like that. It sounds like a gentle entry ramp into the week.
It is, but it's a little deceptive. Because on that very same day, we have another really significant shift. Neptune is entering Aries. This is going to fundamentally alter the dynamic in the home and family sector.
Yeah.
And then we have the heavyweight event. The main reason we're characterizing this week is so intense. On Tuesday, January 27th, we have a conjunction between Mars and Pluto.
Mars and Pluto. Wow. Just saying those two names together sounds like an action movie title. It sounds combustible.
It essentially is. And they are meeting directly in the Capricorn's money sector.
Wow. Okay. So let me get this straight. We've got creativity. We have a strange sort of watery shift in the home. And we have what sounds like a nuclear explosion of energy right in the bank account. Sounds like a lot to juggle for 1 week.
It is a high-stakes week. But here's the thing about high stakes. They often come with high rewards.
That's the spirit. So our mission today is simple. We're going to analyze these transits to help you, the Capricorn listener, navigate all this energy. We want to help you protect your assets, maybe make some serious moves, and, believe it or not, find some grounded romance amidst all this hustle.
Precisely. And there is joy hidden in the data, too. It's not all spreadsheets and power struggle.
Good to hear. So let's not waste any more time. Let's really unpack this. I want to start with that heavyweight event you mentioned, the Mars and Pluto conjunction.
Let's go there. This really is the centerpiece of the week.
So it's happening on Tuesday, January 27th. Now, for everyone listening who might not have a degree in astrophysics or, astrology, can you break down why this specific combination, Mars and Pluto, is such a big deal? Why should we care that they are holding hands in the sky?
Absolutely. To really understand the gravity of this, we have to look at the archetypes. Mars is the planet of action. It's the gas pedal. It represents our drive, our ambition, our aggression, and our ability to just get things done. It's raw, kinetic energy. It pushes outward.
Okay, so Mars is the engine, the warrior.
Right. Now, Pluto. Pluto is a different beast entirely. Pluto is the planet of transformation, but it's also the planet of power, of depth, and all the hidden things beneath the surface. It represents the whole cycle of death and rebirth. It's like nuclear energy. It's small, dense, and it packs a punch that can change the landscape forever. It compels us.
You're putting the gas pedal and nuclear energy together.
Exactly. And they are meeting in the second house. For Capricorn, the second house rules income, personal resources, and self-worth.
So this isn't just about feeling energetic. This is about a massive drive specifically related to money and what you possess.
It creates what we call high-stakes energy. This isn't about paying the electric bill or balancing the checkbook. This is a massive financial drive. It's a hunger. Capricorns are already known for being ambitious. That's their cardinal earth nature. But this week, They're going to feel laser focused on the bottom line. It's almost primal.
So if I'm a Capricorn, I'm waking up on Tuesday morning and I'm just ready to conquer the world, or at least conquer the market.
You're ready to increase your income. That is the primary urge. The conjunction gives you an incredible ambition to get more. This is the main event of the week because it offers a very rare opportunity. The planetary geometry is effectively handing you a loaded weapon, metaphorically speaking, of course, to go out and hunt for resources.
Okay, let's talk about that opportunity. Because energy is great, but only if you use it right.
Yeah.
What should a Capricorn actually do with this Mars-Pluto vibe?
This is the time for the big ask. If you have been waiting for the right moment to negotiate a new salary, Tuesday is the day the stars are backing you up. You won't just be asking, you'll be demanding your worth. And because Pluto is involved, there's a magnetic intensity to your presence. People will find it very, very hard to say no to you.
I love that. No more playing small. No more apologizing for wanting to be paid what you're worth.
No more playing small. It's also the perfect energy for a side hustle. If you've been toying with a business idea that could generate a new revenue stream, this transit is the green light to launch it or pitch it. You are going to be willing to work harder than anyone else in the room to get what you want.
And that's the Capricorn superpower, isn't it? Just outworking everyone.
It is, but this week it's amplified. It's not just duty. It's a desire for power and transformation through wealth. You aren't just working for the paycheck. You're working for the autonomy that money provides.
Okay, but I have to play devil's advocate here. When you talk about Mars aggression and Pluto power, and you mix that with money, isn't there a danger zone? It sounds a little volatile.
There absolutely is a warning label on this week. You have to be careful with this much voltage.
I figured. What's the catch?
The shadow side of this transit is impulsivity driven by a desire for status. When you have this much power coursing through your financial sector, you might feel a sudden urge to prove your power by spending money.
The look at me, I've made it purchase. That conspicuous consumption.
Exactly. The charts explicitly warn. Avoid impulsive buying driven by a desire for power.
That is such an interesting distinction. Driven by a desire for power.
Yeah.
So it's not about buying a sandwich because you're hungry. It's about buying, I don't know, a luxury watch you can't afford just to show up your neighbor or your brother-in-law.
Precisely. It's the difference between investing in a high-quality tool that helps you do your job better, which is a very Capricorn strategic move, versus buying a sports car just to project an image of success. Pluto rules obsession. You could become obsessed with possessing something just to feel powerful.
Right. One is an asset, the other is a total ego trip.
And with Pluto involved, the consequences of a reckless financial move this week could be long-lasting. This is about transformation, remember. You can transform your finances for the better, create generational wealth, or you can blow them up and create a debt crater.
So the strategy is be aggressive in earning, but maybe conservative in spending.
Be strategic. That is the key word. It could be a big purchase. Maybe you're buying a house or investing in stocks, but it cannot be reckless. It has to be part of the master plan. Mars says do it now, but Capricorn requires a blueprint. You have to balance that impulse.
Got it. Yeah. So Tuesday is the day to watch. High energy, big money moves, but keep the ego in check. Now, while all this financial drama is unfolding, there's something else happening on Monday, January 26th that feels completely different. You mentioned Neptune entering Aries.
Yes, and this is fascinating because it provides a counterbalance but also a potential conflict. We have to look at the elemental nature here. Neptune is the planet of dreams, spirituality, and sometimes, illusion. It's very watery, very misty. It dissolves boundaries.
And it's entering Aries. That feels like fire and water.
It is. It's steam. And for Capricorn, Aries rules the fourth house, the sector of home and family.
So we have the god of war in the money house and the god of the sea in the family house. What does that even look like in real life?
Well, it signals a shift in the domestic vibe. Neptune entering the home sector suggests a desire to make the living space more spiritual, more of a sanctuary.
A sanctuary. That sounds like exactly what a Capricorn would need after battling for a raise all day with that Mars-Pluto energy.
And that connects perfectly to the work-life balance theme. The astrological data suggests that this transit might make the listener want to work from home.
Oh, interesting. Really?
Think about it. If the outside world, the career world, is blazing hot with Mars and Pluto intensity, your home needs to be the retreat. You might find yourself desperately seeking a better work-life balance to offset that grind. You need a place to decompress.
So maybe you're negotiating that salary raise, but you're also negotiating for 2 days a week remote work so you can be in your Neptune sanctuary.
Exactly. It's about softening the edges of the home life, maybe bringing in art, music, or just creating a space where you can disconnect. However, Neptune can also bring confusion.
Confusion, how so?
Sometimes Neptune dissolves boundaries in ways we don't necessarily like. So while you want a sanctuary, you might also find that plumbing issues arise, literal water where it shouldn't be, or there's just a lack of clarity regarding family dynamics.
Like, who is actually responsible for taking out the trash becomes a huge philosophical debate.
Or even deeper misunderstandings. It's a long transit, so this is just the beginning of a new chapter in how Capricorns relate to their physical home. It's about spiritualizing the domestic sphere, which can be messy at first.
And I remember seeing in the notes that this might be where some friction comes from.
Yes, specifically with Aries people, which we will definitely get to in the compatibility segment. But generally, this new direction in the home sector can feel unsettling for a Capricorn who likes structure. Neptune is not structural, it flows. It's hard to build a foundation on water.
Right. You can't put a spreadsheet on a cloud.
No, you cannot. And that is the tension of the week. Hard assets versus fluid emotions.
Okay, so we have the money powerhouse and the misty home. But there's an emotional arc to this week too, right? Because we have two significant moon events bookending this whole forecast.
We do. We have a lunar narrative that tells a story of its own.
Let's call this Act 1. Monday, January 26th, the first quarter moon in Taurus. Now, Taurus is an earth sign, just like Capricorn. That has to be good news.
It is very promising. It is the bright spot of the week, for sure. The first quarter moon is about taking action. It's a crisis of action phase. But because it is in Taurus, it is grounded, sensual action.
And where does this hit for Capricorn?
It hits the fifth house, the sector of fun, creativity, and dating.
Finally, a break from the grind.
Exactly. Despite the financial intensity, Monday starts with this burst of creative energy and joy. Capricorns are going to feel more playful than usual. The trine from the Taurus moon to the Capricorn sun is a very harmonious aspect.
Playful. Capricorns, I feel like they get a bad rap for being all work and no play.
They do, but that's just a stereotype. When an earth sign like Taurus activates their fun sector, they know how to enjoy the physical world better than anyone. Good food, good music, tactile comfort. They play hard, just like they work hard.
So this isn't about going to a rave. This is about a really high thread count sheet set and a gourmet meal.
Or a walk in nature, or a massage. It is tactile. And here is a fascinating connection the medical astrology data makes. This moon encourages you to do things that make you happy, which directly boosts your immune system.
Oh, I love that. Happiness is healthcare.
In a week where stress is high, remember that Mars-Pluto cortisol spike, that joy is medicinal. You need that Taurus energy to recharge. Your body needs to feel safe to function, and Taurus provides that safety through the senses.
Okay, so that's Act 1. Monday feels pretty good, but then we fast forward to the end of the week. Sunday, February 1st, Act 2. The full moon in Leo.
And the tone shifts dramatically.
Leo is fire. It's dramatic. It wants attention.
It is. And for Capricorn, this full moon falls in the 8th house.
The 8th house.
Yeah.
That's often called the scary house in astrology, isn't it?
It can be intimidating, yeah. It's the house of shared resources, intimacy, and transformation. It's often associated with other people's money debts, taxes, inheritances, and deep emotional bonding. It's where things are hidden.
So we go from my money in the 2nd house on Tuesday to our money in the 8th house on Sunday.
Precisely. That is the axis being activated this week. And full moons are about culminations, things coming to a head, or a release point. This full moon highlights shared resources. It might bring a financial matter to a close, specifically something involving a business partner, a tax issue, or debts.
So if you've been ignoring that letter from the IRS, or if you owe a friend money,
Sunday is the day it demands attention. The advice here is really clear. It is a good time to pay them off. Clear the ledger. The full moon illuminates what is owed.
and emotionally, what does that feel like?
It's heavy. The 8th house is deep water, much like Scorpio energy. You might feel emotionally heavy on Sunday. Themes of intimacy and trust are going to bubble to the surface. It's not superficial. It asks, who do I trust with my life? Who do I trust with my secrets?
So we start the week playful and creative, we hustle hard in the middle, and we end the week with some deep, perhaps heavy, emotional and financial housekeeping.
That is the arc. And because Sunday is so intense, the advice from the data suggests you detoxify your body and get plenty of rest. You need to purge that intensity.
That makes so much sense. It's like a spiritual hangover from the week. You need to flush it out.
Exactly. You've been running on high-octane fuel all week. Sunday requires a system flush.
Now, you touched on intimacy with the 8th house, which leads us perfectly into the next segment.
Yeah.
Love. We've talked about money. We've talked about home. Is there actually room for love in a Capricorn schedule this week?
It's a fair question. When Mars and Pluto are screaming, money, it can be hard to hear the whispers of romance.
Right. Sorry, honey, I can't cuddle. I'm building an empire.
That is a very real risk this week. The intense focus on money might distract you a bit from romance. You might be physically present on a date, but mentally you're calculating ROI or thinking about that side hustle.
So what's the advice? Don't bring the spreadsheet to date night.
Generally, yes,
Unless.
unless that date night falls on Thursday, January 29th.
What happens on Thursday?
We have a conjunction between Mercury and Venus.
Mercury's communication, Venus is love.
Correct. And because this is happening in the context of Capricorn's chart, discussing values or finances with a partner can actually bring you closer.
No way. So talking about the budget is actually an aphrodisiac this week.
For a Capricorn, absolutely. It's about shared vision. It's about saying, here is what we are building together. That is incredibly sexy to an earth sign. It's practical romance.
Baby, look at this compound interest.
It implies stability. It implies a future. The data says specifically that this aspect is a time for intimacy and trust. It grounds the relationship. You aren't just looking into each other's eyes. You are looking in the same direction.
What if you're single? What if you don't have a partner to discuss the 401k with?
Well, Mercury and Venus together is also excellent for commerce. The forecast says this is excellent for finding bargains or attracting money.
So if you're single, your love affair might be with a really good clearance sale.
Or just the thrill of the deal. But yes, generally romance is described as grounded and sensual this week. It's not flighty. It's not a whirlwind. It's earthy. It's about being there, being solid.
I like that. Grounded romance. It fits the vibe. Now, I want to pivot to something you mentioned earlier about the immune system. Let's drill down into the physical body. We often forget that these transits aren't just in the sky. They affect our physiology. What is the body-money connection this week?
Yes, this is what we call a somatic analysis. The stars affect the body just as much as the mind. And the insight here is fascinating. Your physical stability is linked to your sense of security this week.
Meaning, if my bank account feels unstable, my body feels unstable.
Exactly. Financial stress is likely to manifest physically. And for Capricorn, who rules the skeletal system, the knees, the joints, this often shows up as tension in the neck and shoulders.
The weight of the world on your shoulders, the whole Atlas complex.
It's the classic Capricorn ailment. They carry the burden. And with Mars and Pluto ramping up that ambition, you might find yourself hunching over your computer, jaw clenched, shoulders up to your ears, literally bracing yourself for the financial impact.
I'm doing it right now just thinking about it. So what's the remedy? Aside from, winning the lottery.
Mindfulness of posture is the first step. Literally checking in with your body every hour. Am I wearing my shoulders as earrings? Drop them.
Drop them.
And remember the antidote we discussed. The first quarter moon joy on Monday. Happiness boosts immunity. If you let the stress consume you, you will get sick. The cortisol will wear you down. If you inject moments of Taurus-style pleasure, good food, rest, touch, you create a physiological buffer.
And the detox on Sunday.
Essential. With the full moon in that health-sensitive sector, your body wants to release toxins. Drink water, maybe a sauna, sleep. Do not burn the candle at both ends on Sunday. You need to reset the machine for the next week.
Got it. Okay, let's get into the specifics. The cosmic toolkit, as we like to call it. These are the little details, numbers, colors that people can use to align with the energy frequency.
These are the frequency tuners. They act as subconscious anchors.
Let's start with the lucky numbers. I have the list here. 8, 17, 26, 35, 44, and 4.
Do you notice a pattern there?
I see a lot of 4s and 8s.
Exactly. In numerology, 4 is the number of structure, stability, and building. It is the most Capricorn number there is. It represents the 4 walls of a house, the square, the foundation.
And 8.
8 is the number of power, money, and infinity. It is the number of material manifestation. It's that vertical infinity loop, as above, so below.
So even the numbers are screaming, build wealth this week.
They're reinforcing the Mars-Pluto theme. If you see these numbers on a clock, on a receipt, on a license plate, pay attention. It's a sign you are on the right track. It's a validation of your ambition.
And what about the color of the week? I was expecting maybe gold or green for money, but the forecast says brown.
Brown.
It sounds a little...
It might sound dull to the eye, but energetically, it is exactly what is needed. Brown is the color of the earth. It is grounding. It represents the soil from which everything grows.
Okay, I can see that.
Think about it. You have high voltage electricity running through your chart with Mars and Pluto. If you don't have a ground wire, you blow a fuse. Wearing brown helps you connect to the earth and stability. It keeps you from getting swept away by the anxiety of the big ask.
So wear the brown sweater to the salary negotiation.
It projects reliability and stability. It says, I am solid, I am not going anywhere.
In a volatile market, being the brown stable force is a massive advantage.
I like it. Reclaiming brown. Now, looking at the calendar, what are the best dates for action? When should we circle the calendar?
The best dates are January 26th and January 27th.
Monday and Tuesday.
Right out of the gate. These align with the first quarter moon and that explosive Mars-Pluto conjunction. These are your power days. Do not wait until Friday to make your move. The energy will have dissipated. Strike while the iron is hot. Good to know. Don't procrastinate this week, Capricorns. Now, let's move to the compatibility corner. This is always my favorite part. Who should a Capricorn hang out with this week, and who should they maybe avoid?
The best match this week is unequivocally Taurus.
We've been talking about Taurus energy a lot today.
We have. Because the first quarter moon is in Taurus, and Taurus is a fellow earth sign, there's just a natural harmony there. It's a trine aspect.
What's the vibe of that friendship?
It's about joy and stability. A Taurus friend will help a Capricorn relax without forcing them to be reckless.
Put down the laptop, eat this cheese.
Exactly. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. In a week of financial intensity, the Taurus' steady nature is the anchor the listener needs. They validate the Capricorn's hard work, but remind them to enjoy the rewards. They speak the same language of material security.
We all need a Taurus friend like that now.
Yeah.
Who is the clear the room, avoid at all costs match?
Aries.
Aries. Why is that? I mean, Mars is in Capricorn, and Mars rules Aries. Shouldn't they get along?
You would think, but this goes back to Neptune entering Aries. This creates a square aspect to Capricorn. In astrology, a square means friction, tension. It's a 90-degree angle, like a car crash at an intersection.
And what is the conflict about?
It's about style and security. Capricorn is focused on building security, planning, and long-term structure. They're playing the long game. Aries. Aries is fire. They are impulsive. They want to start things now without reading the instructions.
So the Capricorn have a 5-year plan for the family renovation. The Aries walks in with a sledgehammer and says, let's see what happens.
And that is a nightmare for Capricorn this week. The Aries' new direction, fueled by Neptune's fog, will feel erratic and unreliable to a Capricorn. It unsettles their foundations.
So conflict over how to handle family or domestic matters is likely.
Very likely. Capricorn prefers a plan. Aries prefers to wing it. Okay,
What?
if you have to deal with an Aries this week, take a deep breath, wear your brown sweater, and try not to let their impulsivity derail your strategy. Don't let them bait you into a fight you don't have time for.
Sound advice. So, avoid the Aries chaos. Embrace the Taurus comfort.
Precisely. Manage your energy.
Wow. We have covered a lot of ground today. From the nuclear fusion of Mars and Pluto in the money sector to the spiritual mist of Neptune in the home, the grounded love, the heavy full moon. It's a journey.
It is a power week. That is the best way to describe it.
So let's analyze this whole picture. If you had to sum up the week for our Capricorn listeners in just a few sentences, what is the takeaway?
High ambition, financial transformation, grounded love, and a desperate need for physical release. You are going to want to conquer the world, but you need to make sure your body and your home can support that conquest.
Beautifully put. And before we let our listeners go, you always have a final thought, something to leave us with.
I do. We talked a lot about value this week, mostly financial value, salary, side hustles, assets. But as that full moon in Leo hits on Sunday, I want you to ask yourself a deeper question. Are you defining your worth by your bank account or by the shared resources of trust and intimacy you've built? The stars suggest that while the money is loud this week, the relationships are where the real transformation happens. Don't get so rich that you end up poor in love.
Oof. That is a mic drop moment right there. Don't get so rich that you end up poor in love. That is something to meditate on as we head into this week.
Indeed, it's the ultimate Capricorn lesson.
Well, thank you so much for breaking all this down for us. It is always a pleasure to look at the stars with you.
The pleasure is mine.
And thank you to everyone listening to this episode of Horoscope TV. We hope this gives you the edge you need to navigate the week of January 26th.
Use the energy. Don't let it use you.
Exactly. And hey, Make sure to subscribe to the show so you get notified the second the next episode drops. You won't want to miss what happens after the dust settles from this full moon.
It's going to be an interesting February.
It sure is. Remember, you are the master of your own destiny, guided by the stars. Have a powerful week, Capricorns. We'll see you next time.